remember when you were little and your mom read to you the book, The Three Little Pigs?
No.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever heard of the story, The Three Little Pigs?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read you this book since you say your mom never read it to you. All right? So I'm going to read it. I want you to keep in mind what I'm reading, and then when I'm done, I want you to retell it to me, okay? The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, an old sow sent her 3 little pigs out into the world to seek their fortune. Now, be sure to write, she said, and remember, I love you. Let me see the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
The first little pig met a man with a load of straw. I know, said the little pig. I'll buy your straw and build a house. That is not a good idea, said the man. Mind your own business, thank you, said the little pig, and he bought the straw and set about building a house. It took him no time at all. Very soon, a lean and hungry wolf happened by. Pig was just about his favorite food in the world. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. This annoyed the wolf to no end, and he said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Go right ahead, said the little pig. So the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in. And he gobbled up the little pig. The second little pig met a man with a load of sticks. I've got it, said the little pig. I'll buy those sticks and build a house. I'd think twice about that, said the man. Oh, pooh, said the little pig. What would you know? And he bought the sticks and went to work building a house. Very pretty, he said. No sooner had the little pig settled into his pretty house than the wolf happened by.
Katie Young, if you're in the building, would you please come to
He was still
Mrs.
hungry,
Haynes'
he
class?
said. Little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. The wolf didn't care for that at all, and he said, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Ha, 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 said the little pig. So the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in. And he gobbled up the little pig. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. These bricks will make a fine, sturdy house, said the man. Capital idea, my good fellow, said the little pig. So he bought the bricks and set about building a house. It took him quite a bit of time, but it was well worth it. Nice and solid, said the little pig. Nice and solid. But no sooner had the little pig moved in than he noticed the wolf loitering about. And the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, 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 not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, the wolf had heard that before, and he said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Oh, don't do that, said the little pig. But the wolf huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed until he was quite blue in the face. The house stood firm. I'll try another approach, muttered the wolf. And he put on his most dazzling smile. Little pig, I was only teasing, he said. By the way, I hear that Farmer Jones has the most scrumptious turnips. Shall we go pick a few? Oh, I'm much too busy now, said the little pig. What about tomorrow morning? Excellent, said the wolf. I'll come for you at 6. The next morning, the little pig got up at 5, hurried off to Farmer Jones's turnip field, picked a basket full of scrumptious turnips, and dashed back home. When the wolf arrived at 6, the turnips were already boiling in the pot. Sorry, I couldn't wait, said the little pig. The wolf tried not to show his displeasure. "No harm done," he said. "By the way, there's a lovely apple tree down in Merry Meadow. Shall we go help ourselves to a few apples?" "I must cook my turnips," said the little pig. "Let's meet there tomorrow morning." "Splendid," said the wolf. "Shall we say at 5?" The next morning, the little pig was up at 4 and went off for the apples. It took longer than he expected to reach Merry Meadow, and while busy gathering apples in the highest tree, he saw the wolf approaching. "Do try one of these," he called down, throwing an apple as far as he could. When the wolf chased after the apple, the little pig shimmied down the tree and made it safely home. The next day, the wolf came again. Really, he was quite put out. "There's a fair today in Hog Hill," he said. "Would you care to go?" "Why don't we meet there?" said the little pig. "Would 3 o'clock suit you?" "Colossal," said the wolf. 3 it is, just to make sure. He would be there at 2. At 1 in the afternoon, the little pig went to the fair and had a fine time. So fine that he lost track of the hour. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the wolf coming up on the hill. Without a minute to spare, the little pig jumped inside an empty butter churn and rolled down the hill toward the wolf. Well, the wolf was so scared, he ran all the way home. That evening, the wolf went to the little pig's house and told him how frightened he'd been by a great round thing that came down the hill. "Frightened you, did I?" said the little pig. "That great round thing was a butter churn, and I was inside." This was simply too much for the wolf to stand. "I've been nice long enough," he cried. "I'm going to eat you up right now." And he climbed onto the roof. When the little pig saw this, he put a big iron pot in the fireplace and quickly stoked the fire. "Here I come," cried the wolf. "Dinner time." "You can say that again," said the little pig, and he cooked the mean old wolf and gobbled him up. Now, do you remember that book?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that story?
Yep.
All right. So now, what I want you to do is I want you to retell me that story. And as you're retelling it to me, I'm going to write some of those key ideas, like, who the characters were, what the setting was, what happened in the story, what the problem, that kind of thing. Okay? So I want you to tell me some key ideas about that. And if you want to come up here and you can.
I'm alright.
Okay, so retell me the story. What happened?
So the first little pig went to and bought straw.
Okay, so the first pig.
And said he was gonna build a house out of it.
Okay, bought straw and built his house out of straw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
The second pig went and bought sticks, built his house out of sticks.
okay,
And then the third pig was the smart one and went and bought bricks to build his house.
okay.
So when the wolf tried to blow it down, it couldn't get blown down.
So, okay, start at the very beginning. Tell me the story. What happened?
So their mom let him go, and then the first pig bought straw, built a house. Then the wolf blew it down and ate him. And then the second pig built his house out of sticks. The wolf came and blew it down and ate him. And the third pig built a brick house, kept making up lies to the wolf, to what time they were gonna go somewhere. And then one time the wolf went down the chimney, so he cooked up the wolf.
Okay. All right. So your key ideas were there was a wolf, right? There was 3 pigs that left the house. The first pig bought straw and built his house out of straw.
Yep.
The second pig, and what happened to the pig's house?
The wolf blew it down.
The wolf blew it down. Okay. The second pig bought sticks and
Built the house.
the wolf blew that one down
Yeah.
too. The third pig used bricks
Mm-hmm.
and the wolf was Was he able to blow that house down? No. Okay, and then what do you mean the wolf lied, or the pig kept lying to the wolf?
The wolf said, well, let's go pick apples at 5 o'clock. And then the pig kept going at like 4. And one time there was a fair. Wolf said at 3 and he wasn't going to go at 2. And then the pig showed up there at 1.
Okay. So how did the story end?
Pig ran home and the wolf said, I'm done with this. I'm going to jump down the fireplace and I'm going to eat you. So the pig put like a bowl that had a bunch of hot water in it, and then the wolf fell into it, and then the pig cooked the wolf for dinner.
Okay, so he kind of got what he was doing to the other pigs.
Yep.
He kind of got his end, didn't he?
Mhm.
All right, so now I'm going to read a new story to you. This is a different version of the Three Little Pigs. This story is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. Okay? So while I'm reading this, I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay? So this book, this story, is actually told from a different point of view. What point of view was this book?
For littler kids.
Well, I mean, like, point of view means who's telling the story?
A person.
Well, is the person telling the story? Like, where is that, like, who's narrating the story, I guess I should say, in this book? Whose side are you hearing?
The Three Little Pigs.
The
and
Three Little Pigs side, right? Okay, so that's whose the point of view this is. So you need to pay attention and tell me on this book, whose point of view is this from, okay? So, the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and this says by A. Wolf. So does that kind of give you an idea on whose point of view this book is from? What do you think?
By a wolf.
You think it's from the wolf's point of view? All right. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. So you think you're correct? You think it's from the wolf? I'm the wolf. Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. Do you like cheeseburgers? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of cheeseburgers. But, like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built this whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? Do you think that was a smart decision?
No.
So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into somebody's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed. A great sneeze. So what happened?
Blew the house down.
Ooh. So he's saying it was what? It was
It was a cold.
But So he didn't mean to do it on purpose? It was an accident? Is that what he's saying?
That's what he's saying.
And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He'd been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just laying there. So he's saying it's just an accident, he died. Okay, I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next door neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little bit better. And I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains in the family. He had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake? What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a spin and can sit on a pin. Ooh, is that nice?
No.
Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Look at him trying to do that. What's coming out of the fireplace?
Smoke.
The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? All right, so now we know this is the true story of the 3 little pigs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is, okay, what did we say? Who did we say? Looking at these 2 books. This was from the point of view of who?
The pigs.
And this is from the point of view of
Wolf.
the wolf. All right? So when was there a time that you may have had a different point of view from like one of your friends maybe? Can you think of something?
No.
Okay, for example, like, say you had an argument with your friend, right? And you think that you were in the right, and they think that they were in the right. Would that have 2 different points of view?
Yeah.
Yeah? So can you think of anything else that you could do with, like, today? Was there anything that happened that you thought Well, I saw it from this way, and they saw it from this way. Did nothing happen today? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use, have you ever heard of a Venn diagram? Like where we compare things?
It sounds familiar.
Okay, I'm going to show you, and you're going to come up here, and you're going to compare the two books. Okay? So we'll grab this. It looks like this. So we have two circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen something like this?
Yep.
All right, come up here with me. And so we're going to write, this one is the Three Little Pigs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this one is the real story. So, remember on the
Mhm.
Venn diagram? This side is all about the Three Little Pigs.
Okay.
This side is all about the real story of the Three Little
And
Pigs.
that's the middle.
And in the middle, we write what?
Both.
Both. Like something that happened in both of. Just gonna make it a little bigger so we can see it better. Here we go. All right. So what's something that happened just in the Three Little Pigs?
They said that the wolf blew their house down.
Okay. So write that. Wolf blew their house down.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay. Can you get it? It's all right. I have trouble writing with this too. Okay. What's something else that just happened in the book, The Three Little Pigs?
He ate them because he said that they died.
Okay, so in The Three Little Pigs, he ate them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you can say that. Well, but did he eat them in the true story of The Three Little Pigs?
Yes, but
Yes.
he said that he didn't kill them in them.
So in The Three Pigs, did he kill them?
Yes.
Okay, so you can say that. Killed the pigs. So, okay, if we say that in The Three Little Pigs, the wolf blew their house down, in the real story, what happened to the houses? He didn't blow
He
them down.
sneezed.
He sneezed. Okay, so you can say that. Okay, and when you say he killed the pigs in the Three Little Pigs, what happened in the true story of the Three Little Pigs?
The house, when it fell down, it killed them.
Okay, so you can just say they died. The pigs died. All right. What else? What can you think that's the same for both of them?
The same?
Yeah. What happened in both the Three Little Pigs and in the real story of the Three Little Pigs? What was the same in both?
But there's one more difference.
Oh, what's another difference?
He went to ask for sugar in that one, and then this one he went to ask to go eat because he was hungry.
Okay, so you can write that down. Oh wait. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Why was he asking for sugar?
To make a cake.
For who?
His grandma.
Oh, all right. Okay, so let's go back to something that's the same for both of them.
He blew the house down.
Okay. All right, so you can say that he blew that he in both
The house.
in both the houses both came down. All right? Let's think of one more thing that was the same between the Three Little Pigs and the real story of the Three Little Pigs. What was something that was the same? What happened in both books?
He blew all three of them down.
Okay, but we said that. In both of them, he blew the houses down. What did the pigs build their houses out of?
Sticks, straw, and bricks.
Is that the same in both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they used the same materials, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this Venn diagram shows you're comparing the book, The Three Little Pigs, with the book, The Real Story of the Three Little Pigs.
Mhm.
Okay. So in the two stories, which one do you believe? Of the two stories, I guess I should say. Which one do you think is the true story?
The first one.
You think the first one
The
is?
Three Little Pigs.
Why do you think that?
Because I don't think a wolf would be looking for sugar.
You don't think a wolf would be looking for sugar?
No.
Probably not. But in the Three Little Pigs, did you ever hear the pigs be mean to the wolf?
No.
No. So who was in the real story of the Three Little Pigs? What did the wolf mean by saying this is all made up? What do you think he meant by that?
That the other story was made up.
That the Three Little Pigs was made up?
Uh-huh.
Why do you think he thought that?
Because he didn't want to get in trouble.
Oh, you think he says that this story, The Three Little Pigs, was made up just to make him look like he was the troublemaker?
Yeah.
Okay.